Everyone loves holding on to future rookie picks, but with how the 2026 class is shaping up, which looks pretty underwhelming right now, this might be the perfect time to cash in those picks. In this video, I'm breaking down 5 players I'd gladly trade for my 2026 picks right now. These are guys whose value is either about to rise or who are just simply too good to pass on at their current price. Whether you're contending or just building a powerhouse early, these are moves that could absolutely win your leagues.
Hey.
What's going on, guys? Before we get into the video, I just wanted to announce that every single Friday here on out, we're going to be doing a live show on Justin Paul Sports YouTube channel. So if you guys want to watch me break down film live, go over some of the rookies in this year's class, things like that, go check that out. I'll post a link to his channel and the live stream here in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get back to the video. Alright guys, at number 5 on our list, it's Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs, and yeah, he didn't have the best rookie season. You know, he finishes the wide receiver 33, only had about 600 yards and 6 touchdowns, but did rush for 3 touchdowns. The Chiefs were kind of committed to using him in a lot of gadget ways, trying to just get him the ball in space and utilize that 4.21 record-breaking speed. But, you know, he just had some struggles early on, just like Rashee Rice did, just like a lot of these Kansas City Chiefs wide receivers do. You know, they kind of struggle kind of understanding the playbook and getting comfortable with that offense over time. But you saw him in the playoffs. He led all wide receivers in playoff receiving yards last year. Obviously, he had more games than a lot of other receivers, but still he played very well in the playoffs, especially in the Super Bowl where he caught that long touchdown pass from Mahomes. So in terms of his value, guys, you know, I do think he's going to step up a little bit in his second year. So, you know, I expect his value to rise just a little bit. But right now, I'll throw some of his trades up on the screen here. You're consistently able to get him for a 2026 first. Maybe you got to add on a little bit on top of that. But guys, he's connected to one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, right? He's super fast, super explosive, and the Chiefs are committed to using him because they spent first-round draft capital on him. So if you guys can ship away some of those 2026 picks, I think you guys can grab Xavier Worthy for a mid to late first, and you're sitting pretty. Alright guys, at number 4 we have Trevor Lawrence for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I know he's had an up and down career thus far, but he's really not had any chances to succeed really since he's came into the league in 2021. He was hyped up as this generational prospect, and maybe he's not quite that generational, but he's still a very good quarterback. He's got a very good deep ball. You know, he has a lot of solid tools to be a high-quality NFL starter, and I see that all over the film with him. But he's had poor personnel. He hasn't really had that many wide receivers. They tried to trout out a bunch of wide receiver 2s and see if that was good enough for Trevor Lawrence. I think he needs a dominant wide receiver 1, which he does have now in BTJ. Obviously, he was struggling a little bit last year, Trevor Lawrence was, until he got hurt. But I think with Liam Cohen coming in there, the Buccaneers, the former Buccaneers offensive coordinator, he made Baker Mayfield look like $1 million over the past couple of years, and I think he's going to do something similar with Trevor Lawrence. On top of that, they brought in Travis Hunter, who is a phenomenal talent. He's going to play on the offensive side more than I think most people are going to expect, and that way he's got 2 really solid receivers in Travis Hunter and BTJ. I like Brenton Strange at tight end, and, you know, they have Bashal Tutin, who's explosive out of the backfield. He fumbles a lot, so we'll see how that goes. Travis Etienne, maybe coming off the injury, will look a little bit better, but he's slowly declining in efficiency every single year. And Tank Bigsby looked solid in a couple games. So I think this offense is finally about to sprout and, you know, look solid this next season. And I think Trevor Lawrence is going to take a huge step up. I'll throw some of the trades that you can get for him on the screen here. You know, you're probably going to have to give up a first and a second, or maybe multiple firsts, but I think he's worth it. You know, he's only 25. The Jaguars are invested in him long term. I do see him playing as a starting NFL quarterback for at least the next 10 years or so. So if you guys can buy in while you still can, I think there's some great value potential to be had here with Trevor Lawrence. All right, guys, at number 3, it's Chris Godwin for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he was killing it last year before he got hurt. He played in 7 games and had over 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's nearly a touchdown every single game. He was killing it with Baker Mayfield, and I do expect that offense to take a slight step back since they lost Liam Cohen, their offensive coordinator. But with how Baker's been playing over the past couple of seasons and with the chemistry that he's developed with Chris Godwin, I think he can still be like a solid high-end wide receiver too if he plays at the level he played last season. Now, his values took a dip a little bit because, he did break his ankle or dislocate his ankle or something like that, which I don't think is a terrible injury for wide receivers in my opinion, but we'll see how he comes off of the injury. Now, in terms of what you can get him for, I'll throw some of his trades up on the screen. You're probably going to have to give up a second-round pick in 2026, but guys, that 2026 class is shaping up to be very subpar. Obviously, there are going to be guys that come on down the stretch, late year breakouts, things like that. But overall, the class is very much lacking star power. So, the quarterback class is decent, but in the second round, I don't think you're going to be getting any of those guys. So, at the price of a 2026 second round pick, if you're contending and you just need one more like wide receiver 3 or 4 to contend and really be like a top 3 team, I think trading for Chris Godwin for just a single 2026 second is a smash trade for me. And whoever the owner is in your league, I think they'll take it for that. All right, guys, at number 2, we have a tight end. It's George Kittle for the San Francisco 49ers. And people are kind of sleeping on him a little bit. He's fallen in startup drafts a good bit, and people just aren't respecting him because he's a little bit older. But let me tell you something about George Kittle. If he stays healthy and he plays at least 14 games, he's going to be a top 5 tight end in the NFL. No questions about it. He's been that for every single season he's stayed healthy. He had a couple seasons where he was hurt, obviously, but outside of that, he's been a top 5 tight end, and he will continue to do that. You look at his athletic metrics, I don't know how he was a 5th-round pick. I mean, his athletic measurables were out of this world, and I will say I looked at the metrics of pretty much every single tight end drafted over the past 10 years. Athleticism is key to success for all of these tight ends, and George Kittle is all over the athletic charts. I mean, he's up there. So, you probably have to give up a 1st-round pick for him, guys, which, it sounds a little rich. Maybe you can get him for a little bit cheaper, but from what I've been seeing on the Keep Trade Cut database, that's usually his going price, and his price has stayed consistent over the past year or so. So I'll throw some of his trades up on the screen here, but I expect the San Francisco offense to be a top 10 offense like they've been for the past 3-4 years now. And, they're going to continue to use George Kittle as their number 1 option, I think. And, he's really valuable. He's older, but if you're contending, this is the perfect asset to grab with your 2026 first. Last but definitely not least, guys, it's J.J. McCarthy for the Vikings. And, a lot of people are doubting J.J. McCarthy. And, also a lot of J.J. McCarthy owners are starting to doubt him. If you drafted him in the 1st round of your rookie drafts, early 2nd round of your rookie drafts, because, the 2024 rookie drafts were insane. But J.J. McCarthy, his value was kind of dipping a little bit because he didn't get to play at all because of the knee injury, and Sam Darnold might re-sign. He was never going to re-sign, guys. Sam Darnold was never re-signing with the Vikings. That just wasn't going to happen. They picked this guy top 10 overall. They weren't just going to leave him on the bench for 2 years straight. So, in terms of J.J. McCarthy, guys, I love his arm. He was pretty limited in college just because he didn't get to throw the ball all that much. So, if you look at his stats, it's nothing pretty. He was very efficient, though, when he was able to throw. But he's got good size, a great arm, very good athleticism as well. And he looks like $1 million in OTAs, guys. And training camp's just begun. He's looking good in training camp as well. I know OTA stats aren't really important, but I will note he led all quarterbacks in the NFL in OTA touchdown passes, and he only had 1 interception. He's been killing it. He looks super comfortable in an NFL uniform, and if that translates to the regular season, he's going to kill it. And Kevin O'Connell, guys, he's made guys like Nick Mullins fantasy relevant, Josh Dobbs, Sam Darnold, obviously, he was a dumpster fire before he got to Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell just makes every quarterback in his offense look fantastic, and that doesn't stop with J.J. McCarthy. So if you guys want to trade y'all's 2026 rookie picks, I'll show you what you can get him for right now. But, man, if you want to trade your 2026 first, I think this guy is the guy to go after if you're going after anybody. Like I said earlier, the 2026 class isn't looking like anything special right now, so flipping those picks for proven or ascending talent could be a league-winning move. Let me know in the comments, who would you trade your 2026 picks for? And if you've enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap into the Bobby's Big Board Discord. The link's in the description as always. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Hey.